SQL injection methodology. SQL injection methodology, like, it will start from the information gathering. So first step is to gather the information, then we launch the attack and we can do advanced SQL injection. But first we have to gather the information. So information gathering. Information gathering is a reconnaissance part. So first check if the web application connects to a database server in order to access some data. That means not all the web application is needed and connected to database server. It is not required that every web application needed the database server. If suppose the application is just some kind of a page application, like it is giving just information, informatic application, and it is not having any login informations, not having a much more size of the data, so it does not require the database. So first we have to check that if the application connects to database server or not. Then list all input fields, hidden fields and post requests whose values could be used in crafting a SQL query. So for this, first we should do what? We should intercept the request which is going from our browser to the web server. And we can do what? We can intercept all the requests like get and post requests and try to see the input fields and hidden fields. And with the help of that, we can it can be helpful for crafting the SQL queries. Then attempt to inject the codes into the input fields to generate an error. So when the input fields are there, so in those input fields we'll try to add some codes and try to see the error. For example, I will try to add some query strings, or like suppose we add some characters which is only work on these queries, like quote, double quote, equal to, all those kind of characters, and try to see what error it is saying. Then try to insert string values where a number is expected in the input field. Like where the number is expected means, if suppose it is saying insert the mobile number. So if it is saying insert the mobile number, so there is a field which is called to which is saying that add the number, mobile number. So in that kind of field, we'll try to add the strings, character strings. We'll try to add A, B, C and all that, and see what it is saying, whether it is accepting or not, or it is saying invalid input or something. Then the union operator is used to combine the result set of two or more select statements. Now select statement is to display the result of query. Like we want to search something in the database, so we use the select query. Now union operators do what? It combines two or more queries together. Then detailed error messages provide a wealth of information to an attacker in order to execute SQL injection. So all these things, all these like injecting, try to inject the codes, try to inject the strings where it requires the numbers. We try to see the errors so that we can do what? We can get the detailed information about the SQL injection, or we can run for the detailed information about running the SQL injections. To identify the data entry paths, we can use these intercepting tools like Bob Suite. We can use Temper Data also. Temper Data is also a tool like Bob Suite. So these attacker analyze the web get and post requests to identify all the input fields, hidden fields and cookies. So it will try to identify what are the hidden fields there, what are the cookies hidden inside this. Then extracting information through error messages. Error messages are essential for extracting information from the database. It gives you the information about operating system, database type, database version, privilege level, OS interaction level, etc. Depending on the type of errors found, you can vary the attack techniques. So information gathering techniques are like parameter tampering. Attacker manipulates the parameter of get and post requests to generate errors. An error may give information such as database server's name, directory structures, any functions used for the SQL queries. Parameters can be tampered directly from address bar or using the proxy. And using the Bob Suite or other tools. For example, here this is the parameter, this is the URL. It is saying that download the ID car. It will change it to horse or book. So error will come. In error, can't connect to a local MySQL server through socket this. Now this means what? There is a MySQL server there, and it is not. It is there, and it is saying that there is not connection. This error reveals that the server the application is connected to MySQL server. So we can change the parameters directly from the browser, or we can change the parameter by intercepting the post or get requests. And to determine the database engine types, mostly the error messages will show you what DB engine you are working with. ODBC errors will display database type as part of the driver information. If you do not receive any ODBC error message, make an educated guess based on the operating system and web server. Determining a select query structure. Try to replicate an error-free navigation. Could be as simple as like colon and one colon quote and quote is equal to quote 1, or quote and quote 1 is equal to 2. Generate specific error. Determine table and column names grouped by column names having 1 is equal to 1. Do you need parenthesis? Is it a subquery? So parenthesis is to divide two queries. So when you want to run two queries, so two queries will be divided by the parenthesis. Now injection. Most injection will land in the middle of this select statement, and in a select clause we almost always end up in the where section. So all the queries, like whenever you put any query, any SQL injection query, it will end up in the select statement. Select statement mostly used to get the data from the database or from the table. So when the attacker try to insert the SQL injection queries, then it will add into that query. That query is already there, designed on application, and whatever input attacker send, it will insert into that select statement. For example, it is select star from table where x is equal to normal input. Now this is the statement there. This is the legal statement there, and whatever the legal input or normal input we will give, it will go to this. It will place under this statement, and attacker will do what? It will add into this place. It will add its own injection query, and that will add into this select statement. So it can be grouped by x having 1 is equal to 1 grouped by x, or having x is equal to y order by x. So these can be generate errors. Then grouping errors. Grouping error means having a command allows to further define a query based on the grouped fields. So the error messages will tell us which columns have not been grouped. So group by column names having 1 is equal to 1, and this means comment. So here you can see the grouping error, sample of the grouping error here. Then type mismatch. Try to insert a string into numeric fields. The error message will show the data that could not get converted. That means union select 1 text 1. Now here it is trying to give we are trying to give a text here in place of number. So it is saying 1 and in between we have text here. So it will get error like data type mismatch. Details could not convert text value into numerical value. Then blind injection. Blind injection means use time delay or error signature to determine extract information. So attacker can use the time delay option for the query. If the query sends the result directly, blind injection we do when we are not seeing the default errors, we are seeing the custom errors. So when we see the custom errors, that means what? We will not able to see the information, we will not able to extract the information from the errors. So attacker can do the blind injection where it will not see the errors. So it can use the time delay or it can use the error signatures. Like it can put the if condition and it says wait for delay of 5 seconds. and union, it is adding into this union select if condition this, benchmark is this, and SHA test and false. So it will wait for the time, and if the time if the error is come directly, that means the query fails, and if the query is successful, then it will the error will come, but it will come after that specific time. Then attacker attempts to inject the codes into the input fields to generate an error, a single quote, a semicolon, comments, and or. So very simply we can do what, we can add these kind of characters. We can add quote, we can add semicolons, we can add these double minus comments, or we can add and or options there. Now if we send this, if the attacker try to insert these things into the input field, it should generate the error. Or also it can try to insert a string value where a number is expected in the input field. So if you see the error here, it says OLDB provide for ODBC driver error this, and SQL Server driver error unexpected quotation mark before the character string. And there is in the list of and the line of this line number of this by.aspx. This is the file under the line. This is the ASP.NET script, and in that line number 42 it is showing that this is not mismatch. Now it is saying this because it is accepting that. It is showing this error because it is accepting this character, this code, this semicolon. If it is not accepting directly, you will get the error saying invalid input. But if it is accepting that codes and these codes and semicolons and these and or, so that means it is saying that it is that accepting that values which we are passing, and that means what, it is a vulnerable site, it is a vulnerable field, input field, where we can inject the query. And if it is not vulnerable, we will get directly error. We will get directly error saying invalid input. And also when you try to put the string in field of the numbers, it will give this error like drivers this and ODB SQL syntax error converting the varchar value test to a column of data type in it. So here you can see there is error here. It is showing the error that it is not able to convert the text into integer. But it is giving this error, that means it is accepting that value. That means in place of the numbers, we can add the query characters there. If it is not accepting it, then you will see not this error, you will see directly invalid input. Then if the application do not provide the detailed error message and return a simple 500 server error or a custom error page, then attempt blind injection techniques. So if the error message is not coming, so we are not able to guess that whether it is accepting our these inputs or whether it is not accepting our inputs. It will directly say error number 500, or it will show you the custom error. Then what you will try, the attacker will try the blind injection and try to add the time delay option. Now testing for injection, SQL injection. For testing the SQL injection, we can use these characters into input fields. Like we can test the strings, we can use these fields there. We can testing strings like these. We can use these strings, we can use these strings, or we can use these strings. So these are the some of the strings example we can add, and we can try to see that whether it is accepting it or not. For example, in this execute, it is what it is doing. It is trying to execute the command on the server, on the SQL server, and it is trying to run the command of ping. And it is possible and it will successful because of this XP command XP CMD shell option available in the database server. Then these are the OR statements, these are the union statements. So we have these different query strings we can test. These are some sample of SQL injection queries. Then we have some additional methods to detect SQL injections, like function testing. This testing falls within the scope of black box testing, and as such should require no knowledge of the inner design of the code or logic. Then fuzzing testing, it is an adaptive SQL injection testing technique used to discover coding errors by inputting massive amount of random data and observing the changes in the output. Then static and dynamic testing, it is in this analysis of the web application source code, where we can try to analyze the web application source code. Examples of these function testings are like this, where you are trying to manipulate the parameters in the URL and try to input the query strings there. First, SQL injection in black box pen testing. Black box means attacker don't know, the pen tester, the penetration tester don't know anything about the network and technology, nothing. It is not having any prior knowledge. So SQL injection in this black box testing, detecting SQL injection issues. When send single code as the input data to catch instance where the user input is not sanitized. Send double quote as the input data to catch instance where the user input is not sanitized. So first, normally we try to send the single quote, double quote, and try to see that it is sanitizing or not. It is filtering it or not. Detecting input sanitization. Use right square bracket like this bracket close and the bracket character as the input data to catch instance where the user input is used as part of a SQL identifier without any input sanitization. Then detecting truncation issue. Attackers send long strings of junk data just as you would send a string to detect buffer overrun. This action might throw SQL error on the page. Detecting SQL modification. In this, send long string of single quote characters or right square brackets or double quotes. This max out the return values from replace and quote name functions and might truncate the command variable used to hold the SQL statements. Then source code review to detect SQL injection vulnerabilities. The source code review aims to locating and analyzing the areas of the code vulnerable to SQL injection attack. This can be performed either manually or with the help of tools such as Microsoft Source Code Analyzer, Code Secure, HP QA Inspect, PLSQL Scanner 2008, etc. So by just checking the source code of the pages, like the pages which we see on the browser, we try to see the source code of that to try to find the SQL queries injection, vulnerability or some of the query information. Static code analysis means analyzing the source code without executing, helps to understand the security issues present in the source code of the program. Dynamic code analysis, in this code analysis at runtime and capable of finding the security issues caused by interaction of code with SQL database web services. So code review can be done statically or dynamically also. Statically, that means without any execution, and dynamic means when it is running, and that time we will try to see the source code. Then launch SQL injection attack. First, perform Union SQL injection. Union SQL injection extract database name. For that, you will use this. You will use this query. It says like here it is adding here into the URL. After this ID is equal to 1, it is adding the query union select all 1 DB name 232. That means DB name returned from the server. The server will return the DB name. That DB name you will add here, and it will try to extract the DB name from the SQL server. Here in the Union SQL injection extract database table. For extracting the database table, it is giving this in a query here, union select all from table name and from sys objects where x type is equal to character this. In this, employee table return from the server. It will return the employee table from the server. Then Union SQL injection extract table column names. For that, it is adding this union select all and column name from DB name information schema column where table name is employee table. So it will reveal all the information from that table. In this Union SQL injection extract first field data. It will try to check the first field data, like it will add union select all one column name 1 3 4 from employee name. So it will select the first one from the employee name table. Now these are the queries, these are the simple queries of SQL Server, SQL database. It is the Microsoft SQL queries. My SQL queries may vary from this. Now it depends on the database what we are using, these queries may change. So we just have to have a knowledge about some of the queries and how these queries we will run. And we using that knowledge, we just have to insert those queries into this vulnerable fields. Like here data, it is extracting the database name in error-based SQL injection. For error-based SQL injection, it will try to add into the URL and it will try to add this field into this. It is using the union operator here. It is using OR here. That means ID is equal to 1 or 1 is equal to convert init DB name. And this syntax error converting the new NVAR character value DB name to column of data type integer. Extract first database table by using this query. It is adding this query like it is saying OR 1, it is adding after this D is equal to 1, it is adding the OR to combine the query. Then it is saying that 1 is equal to convert integer select top 1 name from sys objects where x type is equal to character this. Syntax error convert the NVARCHAR value name table 1 to column of data type integer. Extract first table column name. So here it will run this query like it is using OR to combine the query, and it is saying 1 is equal to convert init select top 1 column name from database name information select column names where table name is equal to table name. In this syntax, in the syntax error, it will convert the NVAR character value column name 1 to column of data type integer. In this extract first field of first raw data. For that it is using this query here that 1 is equal to convert init select top 1 column name 1 from table name 1. This syntax error converting the NVAR character value field 1 value to the name of data type integer. So by running these type of queries, it will reveal these information like database name, database table, table column name, table raw data, first row or first field data. Perform error-based SQL injection using stored procedure injection. Now when using dynamic SQL within a stored procedure, the application must properly sanitize the user input to eliminate the risk of code injection. Otherwise, there is a chance of executing malicious SQL within the stored procedure. Now for this, consider this query here, this SQL Server stored procedure here, where create procedure, user login, add username, var character, password as declare this and this, select one from user where username is equal to this and password is equal to this, and execute SQL query string go user input any username or 1 is equal to 1 any password. Now the procedure does not sanitize the input, allowing the return value to display an existing record with this parameter. Now this is a query, and for understanding it, like you have to understand a little bit query, how the query works. Now consider this SQL storage procedure, SQL Server stored procedure. Like here it is create procedure get report. It is saying create procedure get report column name list where character is this as declare SQL string where character set to this where is SQL string is select and column name list is from the report table execute SQL string and go user input. Here it is the adding user input where one from users update user set password is equal to this and select star. This result in report running all users password being updated. So all users password will be updated by the new password name. The password will be password. So if this queries will successful, it will do this thing, and if this query will get successful, it will do this thing. Then bypass the website login using SQL injection. So attacker can bypass the logging authentication by using this SQL injection query. Like try these at website login form, like where the site says logging option, then when you have a login option we can try these options there. Now login as different users, like union select one another user doesn't matter one. So it is like we should try these queries and it will do what? It can bypass the login method, login authentication. To try to bypass login by avoiding MD5 hash checks also. Now you can union, remember MD5 hash check means what? Username will be stored as a plain text in the database, but the password will be stored as a hash. So if the password is stored as a hash, so attacker, the SQL server will also not able to decrypt it because it is hash. Hash is not reversible. So SQL server will also do what? To match the password, it will just match the value of hash value which you give and the hash value which is stored in the database. So it will just match the two hash values and see the value is matching or not matching. That means is it equal to or not equal to. So here you can union the result with unknown password and MD5 hash of supplied password. So the web application will compare your password and the supplied MD5 hash instead of MD5 from the database. Where attacker will do what? It is like this username admin and password 123, but it will add it into and it will add 1 is equal to 0 and union select admin with this hash. So this hash will be added and this hash will be compared with the hash with its own, which is passed by the attacker itself. So this hash and this hash, both the hash will be compared by the web application, by the SQL server, and it is equal because we are sending the same thing. Attacker is sending 123 as a password and it is trying to it is trying to join this by using the same 123 MD5 hash of that 123 MD5 1234. Then perform the blind SQL injection exploitation MySQL. This is a MySQL query. Previously it was showing what? Microsoft SQL queries. These queries are MySQL queries. Now MySQL queries, here we have searching for the first character of the first table entry. For that it uses this query here where it is adding and 555 is equal to if or demit select pass from user limit this and is equal to 97 this. Now if the user table users contain a column pass and the first character of the first entry in this column is 97 and 97, that is letter A. This is 97's Unicode value, which is 97 is the Unicode value for the A. Then database management system will return true, otherwise false. So it is actually comparing this to this value. It is what? First character. Second, for the second character, searching for the second character of the first table, it will add the same entry here, but it will add here the second character here, like this second here. After 0, after 1, 2, it is saying second, and it is saying that equal to this 97. Now that means if the table users contains a column pass and the second character of the first entry is the column is 97, that is also letter A, then DB server manager, the database management system will return true, otherwise it will return false. It is a blind injection because we don't know what is the character exactly there. And these are some examples of blind SQL injections where attacker try to extract the database users. It will check for the username length. For that it will run these queries and keep increasing the value of length user until database management server system returns true. So it will start this like length 1, length 2, length 3. Try to guess what the username length. What is the username length, like how many characters we have in the username. Then check if first character in username contains A or B or C, etc. And for that it will use this query here, and it will go for the ASCII characters substring user11 is equal to 97, 98 or 99. This 97, 98 or 99 is a Unicode value of this characters A, B and C. And also it is doing what? Adding wait for delay here. Wait for delay because it is a blind SQL injection, because attacker is not able to see the error. It is not able to see the error, but it will use this wait for delay option. Wait for delay 10 seconds. That means if the query does not successfully run, then the error will come directly, and if the query runs successfully, that means if it is A or if it is matching A, the string is matching there, then it will wait for the 10 seconds before giving the error. Then check if second character in username contains A, B or C. For that it will use this same query for the second character here, and it will compare that is equal to 97, 98 or 99, and it can go on for A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then same as for the third character. Now it will take time, but attacker can guess the username here. Then it is going to check for the database name, length and name. And for that again it will do what? It will try to use the same query here and add the wait for delay. Database is equal to length of database name is equal to 4 or not, or the character is first character is A, B or C, whatever. Now database name is equal to A, B, C, D. So considering that the database returned true for above statements, that if suppose your database name is A, B, C, D, then these all queries will return true. That means first character is A, second character is B, third character is C and fourth character is D. Then extract the first database table. For extracting the table information, it will give the length query here, top one name from sys object where type x type is equal to U and is equal to 3, and again wait for delay option, adding wait for delay option. This it will go increase with this to 101, 109, 101, 112. Now it is what? Table name EMP. That means when the table name is EMP, so considering that the database returned true for above statements. So for above statements, if EMP is there, for example E here, M, P, EMP, so it will return true here. So by running these queries, it will try to guess the name for the database. Now blind SQL injection extract the column name. For extracting the column name, again it is trying to run the same, it is trying to run this query here and trying to guess the character Y, A, B, C, D like this. Character number 101, 105, 10 or 110 or 98, 97, 99 like this. It will try all But if this, suppose the user the column name is EID, now this query will successful because 101 is E, 105 is I, 100 is D. So if this query result true, that means the column name will be EID. And extracting the second table name, set a second table column name, again it will run the query with this, and here it is adding the first column name here, that is EID, and then it is trying to guess the second column name by using the equal to 100, 101, 112, 116. So it will try all those possible numbers, and suppose for example the name of the column is DEPT, so this query will go through because this is D, this is E, this is P, and this is T. But it is not like that, like you directly run this and you will get it. Attacker will try all the number combinations, all the letters combinations. For extracting a first field of first row, and for that attacker will use these queries with using these query string, these Unicode values of the letters. Like if the first field is Joe, so these queries will return true because 106 is J, 111 is O, and 101 is E. Same as for the second row, here it is adding the first row name, that the first row is this. So the second row, what is the name of the second row here, and it will try all the possible values of these Unicode characters. And if the first field for the field data is COMP, then these queries will be returned true, where we have 100, 111, 109, and 112. Now doing these queries, we feel like it is difficult to run these type of queries because everyone is not that expert of that database language. Now for attackers who don't know about these database languages, we have some tools. Attackers have the tools which can automatically run these queries. Automatically run these queries to find all these names, database name, column names, table names, all these things. So we have some tools, attackers have some tools, they can run these queries automatically, and it will try to find the result, it will try to find the all information. But attacker should know that what is happening in the background and what that tool or what that automatic tool is doing, what type of queries it is running. Then in the methodology of SQL injection, we have performed double blind SQL injection. It is classical exploitation of MySQL. This exploitation is based on time delay. Again, because it is blind, it is depending on time delay, and restricting the range of character search increases performance. And here it is restricting the character search. So classical implementation of this is like this. Like where it is adding this as ASCII lower substring selects password from user limit. Here it is limiting the characters, and it is adding the benchmark here. So when we can conjecture that the character was guessed right on the basis of time delay of web server response, and manipulating the value, this we can achieve acceptable performance for a concurrent application. And function sleep represent an analog of a function benchmark. Function sleep is more secure in the given context because it doesn't use server resources. So for performing the blind SQL injection using out of band exploitation technique, now there is one more technique which is called out of band technique. In this technique is useful when the tester finds a blind SQL injection situation, and it uses the database management service functions to perform an out of band connection and provide the result of the injected query as part of the request to the tester's server. Each database management service has its own functions checked for specific database section. So you should check for the database section for every database because they are having their own specific functions for it. So consider the SQL query here where it is showing that it is saying select star from products where ID product is equal to this ID product. Now consider the request of the script who execute the query above. So the script which executes the query is like this. In the URL it goes like the product ID is 10. So the malicious request would be this, that the product ID is 1 and then it is adding this OR here. This two pipes is OR. Utility HTTP request testtheserver.com. This is a testserver.com AT and or select user from dual. Now in example above, the tester is concatenating the value 10 with the result of the function utl http.request. This Oracle function tries to connect to test server and make a HTTP GET request containing the return from the query select user from dual. So the tester can set up a web server, example Apache, or use the Netcat tool. And for that, Netcat is a tool like a telnet which gives the remote access, and it will try to connect that by using this after using the command netcat and try to connect it on port number 80, and it will get the connection here. So by this query it will try to get what? It will try to connect test server. This is the server name testserver.com on port number 80. Here it is giving the port number 80, and it will try to make a HTTP GET request which contains the return from the query select user from dual. So it will select the user from dual, it will return the query for that, and the tester can set up a web browser, that is Apache, or use the Netcat tool from there. Exploiting second order SQL injection. In the second order SQL injection occurs when data input is stored in database and used in processing another SQL queries without validating or waiting, without using parenthesized queries. By means of second order SQL injection, depending on the backend database connection settings and the operating system, an attacker can do what? It can read, update and delete arbitrary data or arbitrary tables from the database. Execute commands on the underlying operating system also. Sequence of action performed in a second order SQL injection attack. So the sequence is like the attacker first submits a crafted input in an HTTP request. So HTTP request, attacker will craft a request and submit it. Then the application saves the input in the database to use it later and gives response to the HTTP request. And the request will be saved there and for the future use. Now the attacker submits another request. Now the web application processes the second request using the first input stored. First input is stored in database and executes the SQL injection query. The result of the query in response to the second request are returned to the attacker if applicable. So attacker first craft the request. In that request it will input the database and it will input the query into the database first, and it will save in the database of SQL. It will save in the application. Then second query will say that run the previous one. Second query will be set to run the previous one, and then it will return the whatever it will get to the attacker. Now advanced SQL injections. These SQL injections are for database tables and column enumeration. For doing the database table and column enumeration, try to check the database table and column names. First, identify user level privileges. There are several SQL built-in scalar functions that will work in most SQL implementations. So user or current user, session user, system user. Now these are some functions which is used by the SQL servers or SQL build implementations. These functions do different tasks. So attacker can use this function to identify the user level privileges. Like for example, the query you can see there, It says the one in is equal to this, select the user. If user is equal to DBO, wait for delay. And then union select if user function, it is using the function called user like root. So benchmark this if false, and it is testing that user is a administrator root or not. Then DB administrators, default administrator account include SA account, system account, sys account, DBA account, admin account, root account. These are the system default administrator accounts of SQL servers and many others. So the DBO database, DBO is a user that has implied permissions to perform all activities in the database. So in these user accounts, the DBO is the user which can implement all the activities in the database. Any object created by any member of the system sysadmin fixed server role belongs to DBO automatically. So any object created by the member of the sysadmin group, everything will be belong to the DBO automatically. So DBO has permission to manage all. Discover the DB structure. Here determine table and column names. First group by column names having 1 is equal to 1 to discover the table name and column names. To discover the column names type, union select some column name from table name. Enumerate user defined table, select one and one in select name, select minimum name. Name is a minimum is a function, min is a function where it is adding the name from sys objects where the type x type is equal to u and name is equal to dot. It is to discover the DB structure. Then column enumeration in DB for enumerating the column. In different database applications we have different queries. For MySQL you have the query like this. For DB2 you have query this. MySQL you will run this like show columns from table name. Very simple. Microsoft SQL it is like select name from this and that. And PostGRE we have the query like this. And Oracle will run the query like this. Select star from all table columns where table name is equal to this. Now advanced enumeration depends on the different database services. We have these different database services like Oracle, Microsoft Access, MySQL and Microsoft SQL Server. In Oracle these are the options: sys user underscore object, sys table, and sys dot user underscore table, sys user view, sys dot all table, sys user underscore tab underscore column, sys user underscore catalogs. For MS Access is Microsoft Access. For this we have Microsoft sys ACIS, Microsoft MSys objects, MSys queries, MSys relationships. In MySQL we have MySQL.user, MySQL.host and MySQL.database DB. For Microsoft SQL Server you have sys objects, sys columns, sys types and sys databases. So tables and columns enumeration in one query, if you want to do, you will run this query like the query like this: union select 0 sys object dot name plus this sys columns dot name, and it will go like this. And for database enumeration it will different databases in server you can run this query for getting the database enumeration. So we know the queries, we just have to get the vulnerable site where we can run these queries, and when these queries will execute successfully we will see the information of table and names. We can see the database names or information about the database also. Features of different DBMSs. Now different DBMSs like database management systems, we have MySQL, Microsoft SQL and Microsoft Access, Oracle, DB2, PostGRE, SQL. In that query string concatenation, it will done by this function concat function. In MySQL concat w underscore w dilemma. In this function in MS SQL it uses plus. In Microsoft Access it uses n. In Oracle it uses these two pipes. In DB2 it uses concat function plus, or it can use the two pipes. In PostgreSQL it uses two pipes. For comments in MySQL it uses two hyphens, slash, star star slash, and also hash. For Microsoft SQL it uses minus minus, hyphen hyphen, and also slash star. In MS Excel Access we don't have any comments. In Oracle we have this as a comment. In DB2 we have this as a comment, two hyphens. For PostgreSQL we have this two hyphens and slash star for comments. And request for union here. In MySQL you have union. In Microsoft SQL you have union and semicolon. You have MS Access you have union, union, union in all other. And in PostgreSQL also you have union and semicolon. For sub request in this MySQL it goes like v.4.1 or less than or equal to. And others it has yes, no, some of that has, or some of not has. Stored procedure in MySQL is not there. In Microsoft SQL is there. MS Access is not there. In Oracle and also in PostgreSQL it is there. Then availability of information schema or its analogs. It is version 5.1 and it is less than or equal to this version, it is there. And in MySQL and in rest of the database also this option is available. In MySQL it is only available in less than or equal to version 5.0. So example of MySQL select query is like this. It is saying that select star from table where ID is equal to this, where we can do union select 1 2 3, where it will show all the other IDs also, like other IDs like 1 2 3, all the other IDs. And in PostgreSQL the same query will go like this: select star from table where ID is equal to 1, and select it is combining the query by using semicolon. In this MySQL it is combining the query by using union command, and this in PostgreSQL it is using the semicolon to combine the query. Then for Oracle it is using here union command to combine the query, and it is running like select null 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 from sysdual. This is also a function, sysdual. So it varies, these query strings varies from different database services. Now for creating a database account. For creating a database account in Microsoft SQL Server, it will run like this: execute spid add login username password, and sp add server role member Victor or sysadmin. Like it will become Victor as a sysadmin, system admin. So with the first query it will create one user Victor with the password 123 pass123 password, and then it will make that Victor user as a administrator of database. Then in Oracle, for creating the user account, it will go like this: create user Victor identified by the password pass123, temporary table space temp, and default table space user, grant connect to Victor, and grant resources to Victor. In this grant command it is giving the permission to that Victor user. In Microsoft Access, the query command will go very simple: create user Victor identify by pass123 password. In MySQL it will goes like insert into mysql.user, that is the table name, and with the value of user host password, and values will be like Victor is the username, host name will be localhost, and the password will be this password. So this is the queries, or this is the commands we can say to create a user and make a user admin in these different database services. Now for password grabbing a username and password from a user defined table. In the user defined table you have this is the example of the table where you have username and password column, and in the username you have users, and in the password column you have passwords. So attacker will do what? Through the internet, attacker will send the query to the web application that is like this. This semicolon is to join the query with the existing query, and it will start like this: begin declare varchar this, set varchar is equal to this, and select this var is equal to var plus login plus password from users, where login var select var as var into temp and this. In the other it will say and one in select var from comment, and then drop the table from temp, drop table temp. So in the first command it will try to grab the password of the user, then it will try to select the table, and then here it will try to delete the table from there. Grabbing SQL Server hashes. Now mostly for the reason of security, what the database administrators do, they save users password as a hashes. So even if you get the password hashes, you have to work on it. For that they use the password hash to store in the database servers. Now even the attacker can get the hash, and then it can use the other methods to crack the hash. But first it has to get the hash also. So the hashes are extracted using the simple queries like select password from the master and .sys x logins. When then hex each hashes, so begin this character, and this query will do what? It will begin each hex each hashes. That means it will convert the hash into hexadecimal, and then we just cycle through all passwords, and then one by one it will try to go through with all the passwords. So first query is to convert the hash, extract the hash, and the second it will do for converting the hash into hexadecimal. In SQL query, select name password from syslogins. To display the hashes through an error message, convert hashes to hexadecimal and concatenate. So concatenate password fields required DBA access. With lower privileges, you can still require usernames and brute force the password. So if you are a user which is not having much privilege on the database, you can still get the names of the users, and then you can go for the brute force. And the SQL Server hash sample is like this. So extract the hash through error messages by running this query, and then try to do the brute force on it. And this is a query to extracting the SQL hashes, and in a single statement. So if you want to do it in a single statement, then you have to run this statement, this big statement, and this statement will do what? It will extract the SQL hashes or in a single statement. That means you don't have to go one by one like this previous one. We will go directly with one statement. Then transfer the database to attacker's machine. Now here what we can do, we can transfer the database from the database server to attacker's machine. SQL servers can be linked back to the attacker's database by using open raw set. Open raw set in database structure is replicated and data is transferred. This can be accomplished by connecting to a remote machine on port 80. So first attacker do what? Attacker creates its own database in its own machine, and then it will try to transfer the database from the server to its own local database. It will try to run these queries, insert into this open raw set, and then SQL OLDB UID of this user, SA, password this, network this, address this, select from my database, hex system database, select from master DBO system databases. By using these queries, it can transfer the database from the database server to the attacker's machine. Then interacting with the operating system. Now interacting with the operating system, that means the machine which is hosting the database services, it is an operating system. So it can be a Windows machine or it can be a Linux machine. So attacker will try to interact with the operating system by sending the queries of SQL server. So the query will run on the SQL server and it will try to execute the commands on the server operating system itself. So there are two ways to interact with the OS. First, reading and writing system files from disk, and direct command execution via remote shell. So for interacting with the operating system, we have basic two options: by just going onto that machine and running the commands, and also also interacting with the files and settings. And also the other option is to direct command execution via remote shell. So operating system supports the command execution from remote machine also. Now find a password and executes commands. So both methods are restricted by the database running privilege and permissions. So for doing this, attacker first have to get the privilege permissions, like it has to get the first permissions on the machine, then it can run these commands. For that, in Microsoft SQL, for doing the OS interaction, it can run this command. And for MySQL, for interacting with the OS, it can craft this query: sys execute and return in its SO name and libword. It is running this library file here, and it is also sys environment variable. So running these queries can interact the operating system directly, but for that the database server must be having this XP_CMD shell enabled, this option enabled. Otherwise, if it is not enabled, the attacker will not be able to run the command directly on operating system. And for interacting with the file system, it can use the load file function or into out file function. These are functions. The load file function with MySQL is used to read and return the content of a file located within the MySQL server. So this function is used to do this. Then into out file function means out file function with MySQL is often used to return a query and dump the result into a file. So it will write the query result into a file, and this load file function do what? It will read and return the content of the file for the located within SQL server. So it will send the content of the file, and the out file show that what? It will enter the content into the file. So if the attacker runs this query like null union all select load file into this password file where user information is there in Linux systems. So if successful, the injection will display the contents of the password file, because load file function do what? It will display the function, it will display the content of the file. So if this query executes successfully, so what it will do? It will show the content of this password file, passwd file. This is the file which stores the user's information in Linux machine. So result, it will do what? It will show, in result it will display the content of the file, password file, and the password file contain all the information about the users. Then in the second query, it is using union all select null, and it is going to execute enter these into out file. This it is trying to add the file in shell.php. It is trying to add these values here. Now if this successful, it will then be possible to run system command via the get global this variable, get variable. The following is an example of using wget to get a file. So it will use this function with the wget command, and it will use this function to get some file. It is using this script here, like the script which it is edited previously in the previous query, and then in that it is executing command is equal to this wget. It is running the wget command, and wget command is to get the page of the server. So it will try to get the page from this server. Then attacker can do network reconnaissance by using the SQL injection also. Accessing network connectivity, server name and configuration. So attacker can run the query to get the server name and configurations. Like server name and configuration, it will run one in select server name or one in select server SRV name from master.sys server. NetBIOS, ARP local, open ports, NSLOOKUP, ping, FTP, TFTP, SMB, traceroute, whatever. Test for firewall and proxies also. For network reconnaissance, you can execute the following using the xp_cmd shell command. This is MySQL option. So in that it will run ipconfig all to get the information about all the information about the IP address, traceset, myIP to check the router's information or the path information, ARP to check the ARP table, NBT state to check all the open ports and listening ports, and route to print the routing table of that particular server. It is possible because of this xp_cmd shell. So what attacker will do here, it will send the query, it will craft the query for example like this, and it will send the query to this database server, and database server will execute that query, and with the query it will actually execute those commands, and those commands will reveal the information about the network. Gathering IP information through reverse lookup also. It can use the reverse DNS lookup. It will run the command like NSLOOKUP with this IP. Then it will use the reverse ping also. It can do the ping command also run. Open raw set, it also run the open raw set also with the account, user and DB option, IP address, select from table, it will show the table, user information. Then network reconnaissance full query. This is the full query for doing the network reconnaissance. Now remember, Microsoft has disabled this xp_cmd shell by default in SQL Server. Now if it is disabled, so these queries will not get successful. So it will not get successful and you will get error. Now this is default disabled in this MySQL Server from 2005 and 2008. To enable this feature, you have to execute this sp configuration command, one go reconfigure. That means you have to configure the MySQL to open this, to enable this option. By default it is not enabled because it is vulnerable, and it is vulnerable to execute the commands on the particular server of database. So it is actually disabled in all the latest Microsoft SQL servers, and if you want to have this, then you have to enable this option. Then SQL injection tools. Now those queries which you have seen till now, those queries looks very difficult, very complex, and it feels like we are not able to understand that queries. Now we don't need to understand because we have a tools here. We have a tools which we can use to do these things without even know the queries. So we can use these tools to do all kind of queries, all kind of we can craft all kind of queries. These are graphical tools and command line tools. So they can do what? They can automatically design the query for us. One of them is BSQL Hacker. This BSQL Blind SQL, it is called Blind SQL. BSQL, that means it is Blind SQL Hacker. It is an automated SQL injection framework tool designed to exploit SQL injection vulnerabilities and virtually in any database. It can do almost for any database. So we don't have to design those query because we have these tools. We have BSQL Hacker, we have Marathon tool. This we can use this Marathon tool, and a malicious user can send heavy queries to perform a time-based blind SQL injection attack. It can send a heavy query, you can see in the image. It can do the parameter injection using HTTP GET or POST request, SSL support, HTTP proxy connection available. It can do database schema extraction from SQL Server, Oracle and MySQL. It can do authentication methods, anonymous, basic, digest, and NTLM. So it can do all these things, and this is a graphical tool we can use. Then we have SQL Power Injector. This is also a tool where you can do inject application. It is a created application in .NET 1.1, and it is helped penetration tester to find and exploit SQL injection on a web pages. And it can do option. It has an option to do craft the queries also. We can craft GET request, POST request, and we have different options of queries. Then we have Havage. Using this SQL injection tool, an attacker can perform back-end database fingerprint, retrieve DBMS user and passwords, hashes, dump tables and columns, fetch data from the database, run SQL statements, and even access the underlying file system and executing commands on the operating systems. Also, it can execute the command on operating system. And we have other also tools available to do the SQL injection. These are other tools like SQL Brute. We have Blind SQL Injection Brute Facer. We have SQL Map. We can use this SQL Map also, SQL Ninja, SQL Get, SQL Pat. These are lots of other tools we have to run the SQL queries. Then nowadays we are having lots of mobile available. So we have the tools available in the mobile also. In the mobile we have Droid SQL, SQLi. This Droid SQLi is the automated SQL injection tool for Android, and it allows you to test MySQL based web application against SQL injection attack. Droid SQL supports the following injection techniques: time based injection, blind injection, error based injection, normal injection. It automatically selects the best technique to use and employ some simple filter evasion methods. Then we have also SQL Map Chick. This is a cross-platform SQL Map GUI for popular SQL Map tool. SQL Map tool is available for Linux machines, desktop machines. This is SQL Map Chick, which is available for the Windows, for the mobile devices, for Android mobile devices. This is a very powerful tool, SQL Map, which we can use on the Linux machine to extract the information and craft the queries automatically. Now evading IDS. Now IDS is a tool which detects these malicious queries. Firewalls is not able to detect this. So we have IDS. IDS means intrusion detection system. So in this intrusion detection system, they are designed to detect these type of different queries. So attacker use the evasion techniques to obscure input string in order to avoid the detection. By signature based detection system and signature based detection system built a database of SQL injection attack strings signatures and then compare input strings against the signature database at runtime to detect the attacks. So what the database, this IDS do, it has a database of different signatures of different attacks. Like when the attacker tried to do some query attack, injection, SQL query, so it do some command there, it do add some strings, command strings. Now those command strings are harmful, or we can say malicious. So it knows by the IDS. Now IDS has a database of signatures. Now signatures means what? It is like those queries, those malicious queries hashed into a value. So they do what? They hash those malicious queries and generate the signature of those queries. And those signatures will be in the database of these IDS filters. Now what these IDS filters do? When the query comes here in this IDS filters, so it will hash that query, and whatever the value comes, it will try to compare that value in the signature database of itself. So if the signature matches, that means the hash matches, then what it will say that this is the query, this is not a genuine query, this is an attack, and it will do what it wants to do. or it designed to do. Basically it will do what? It will drop the packet, it will not forward the packet to a head, and then it will do what? It will generate the alarm, lock the system, lock the event, generate the alarm, and then it will send the request to security administrator. So simple, attacker injects the query at string here, and it will go through the firewall without detecting, but IDS will detect it. So if the IDS will detect, then it will do what? It will drop the packet, lock the event, send the alarm to admin, system admin or security admin. And if it is not, then the normal data will go through the web application, run on database, and whatever it is wanted to do, it will do, and the result will go to the user. So IDS are to detect. Now attacker do what? It will try to use different techniques, obscure input strings, to avoid this signature based detection. Now types of signature evasion techniques. First we have inline comment. This means obscure the input strings by inserting inline comments between SQL keywords. So it will try to add the comment between the query, like it is sending the big query here to the database. It's a big query, we have seen the example of the query, it's a big queries are there. So within the query it will try to add different comments. Now the query, if the query goes directly to the IDS, so IDS will match the signature, and it will know that this is the wrong query, this is the malicious query. But when the attacker try to add a comment in between, different comments in different places of the string, then what happened? When the hash generated with that query will not match the signature of the database query, database signature of IDS. So when the IDS will hash that query with the different comments and generate the signature and try to match the signature, so it will not match because it is a different, because it is having a different value added in between. Then the attacker can use the character encoding, uses the built-in character function to represent the character. So built-in characters are different ways of representing the same character. Like for example, if you want to press A, if you want to say A, so we can say 97, number 97 also, Unicode 97 number. Now 97 is also meaning A. So it will try to do this kind of thing. Then string concatenation. Now here attacker concatenates text to create SQL keywords using DB specific instruction. That means it will do what? If it wants to write the select, so it will do what? It will divide the select into two characters, two words, and then concatenate that words. That means combine those different words to create a single word, which only DB is specific, which is using by the DB specific instruction. So database will understand it, but IDS will not understand. For example, it will do divide the select into two parts and join that two part by using the proper instruction from the DB, like how to join it. But the IDS will not understand. IDS will feel like this is not a select key, select word, or this is not a select command. So it will not able to detect it. Then attacker can use the obfuscated codes. Obfuscated code is an actual statement that has been made difficult to understand, like changing the simple word to different word, different code. Then manipulating the white spaces. Here obscure the input string by dropping white space between SQL keywords. White space, that means pressing spacebar, pressing tabs. These are blank spaces, white spaces, where there is no words are there, no characters are there. But when you hash that value, it will get a different hash. Then hexa encoding. Uses hexadecimal encoding to represent a SQL query string. So it can also convert the query string to hexadecimal coding. Then sophisticated matches. It can uses the alternative expressions of or 1 is equal to 1. That means it can use the alternative of that expression. That for example, this sophisticated matches like SQL injection characters are like these. These are the characters of SQL injection, or hyphen hyphen, or These are for the character string indicator. This is for the single line command, this comment. This is for multiple line comments. This is for addition, concatenate or space in URL. And double pipe is concatenate, wildcard attribute indicator. These are different indicators of these are different of injection characters, SQL injection characters, or we can say operators. Now evading this, or is equal to one is equal to one signature, like or John is equal to John. It can also add on, or Microsoft is equal to micro plus soft. That means here it is dividing the word into two parts and then combining with this operator plus. Now in the database when it runs, it will join it. It will run Microsoft, but for IDS it is different words, and the hash will not match. So this or 1 is equal to 1 is very famous. Everyone knows it. So before that, except this, it will use these words. The result is same, because John is equal to John. Both are same. Microsoft is Microsoft. Microsoft is equal to Microsoft is true. Movies and movies are same. We can say not movies. Software and like soft percentage. 7 is greater than 1. That is also true. Best is greater than B. That is more character. Yes, true. Whatever in whatever. That is also true. That means whatever is also it is under the whatever. That is true. 5 between 1 and 7. That is also true. So an IDS signature may be looking for a or 1 is equal to 1. Replacing this string with the another string will have some effect. So the IDS will not be able to detect the string. Hex encoding in this technique, hex encoding evasion technique uses the hexadecimal encoding to represent a string. For example, the string select can be represented by the hexadecimal number this 0x. This is the number for select, which most likely will not be detected by the signature protection mechanism. So the signature will never match because it is looking for select and it is coming like this hex code. Using a hex value like declare this and it will character. Instead of the select, it will set this. This statement uses no single quotes. Sample of this string to hex example is like this. So if it is a select query, drop query, insert query, it goes like this. Manipulating with the white spaces. In this white spaces manipulation technique obfuscates input string by dropping or adding white spaces between SQL keywords and strings or number literal without altering execution of SQL statement. So adding white spaces using special characters like tab, carriage return or line feeds makes an SQL statement completely untraceable without changing the execution of the statement. So it will execute as it is, but because of the other things added here, like select, union select, and then signature is different for union select. So if you see, the execution is same, but the signature will be different. Dropping space from SQL statement will not affect its execution by some of the SQL databases. So with no space, it will go like this. Inline comment, that means within the code it will add some comments. Evade signature, that filters white spaces. So in this techniques, white space between SQL keywords are replaced by the strings inline comments. It is same as a white space. Instead of the white space, it will add comments into it. And for adding the comment, it will use this character. This is used in SQL to delimit multiple raw comments. And in this, if you can see, it is having that the query is union select password from user where username like admin. This, the query is this, but because it is adding multiple comments in between, the signature will be different. You can use inline comments within SQL keywords also. Within SQL keyword also, like in the union, within the union also we can add the comment. Within the select is also divided and it is adding some comment into it. But for the database, it is the single word, because database will ignore these comments and it will only see this select. Character encoding. In this technique, character function can be used to inject SQL injection statement into MySQL without using double quotes. Here it will change the character into quotes, where load file in union string is equal to this. It will be like union select 1 load file character. It is using the character function here. Under the character function, it is mentioning these characters of the word. The word is etc password, and it is changing those words into these strings. Inject without quotes, this string is equal to this, or username like character 37. 37 is for the percentage. Inject without quotes, string is equal to root. So for root, union select star from user, where login is equal to, instead of root it is giving character function, and for root like this ROOT 114, 111, 111 and 116. This is for R, this is for O, and this is for T. It is using the character function here. And check for existing file, that is string is n.x. Now here it is using the character function, where it is using this n.x. For dot it is using this sign. Then for erasing the string concatenation. Now concatenation, that means joining two things, two characters, two strings. So split instruction to avoid signature detection by using the execution commands that allow you to concatenate text in a database server. In Oracle database server, we have this character, two pipes character to join the strings. Here it is dividing the select command into two parts and joining that with this double quote, double pipe. And in Microsoft SQL we have plus sign. This plus sign is to join the strings. And what it is joining here, it is joining the drop command by using this plus symbol. It is dividing the drop command, and table also. Table T is here, and AB and LE is here. So it is dividing this query into different parts and joining it by using this operator. It is like concatenation. Compose SQL statement by concatenating string instead of parameterized query. In MySQL it is saying execute concatenate function, and in the concatenate function it is using this words as like this. So instead of using this plus symbol, it can use the concatenate function here. It is a function here which is opening here and closing here, and within the function it is mentioning the word. Then under the obfuscated codes, like example of these obfuscated codes for the string QWERTY. For the QWERTY it is using this different characters word. It is a Unicode characters numbers. An example of the bypassing the signature obfuscated code for request. This is for the request. The following request correspond to the application signature. It goes like this. It is obfuscated, it is changed. The signature can be bypassed by modifying the above request to this. So obfuscating means changing the simple query string to different ways of changing it to hexadecimal, dividing and concatenating, changing different ways we have seen.